Greetings everyone, I'm Kevin, and today I'm going to go through my TBR for May. So, I am well aware that this is late. This video is late. I have the flu, and at the end of April, when I usually do these videos, I was very sick. And so I decided not to film the video. I did, however, film me playing the game. I just didn't do the sit down as I chose the books. But I did choose books. So I have a set TBR going into this month. I didn't wait a full week of not reading to decide on the book. So I already decided books. So this is me going through the play, getting the prompts, and then what book I picked. But first, we're going to go through the books that I was supposed to read for April and see how I did. The first prompt that I got was a numbered prompt, the title card, and it was number 21, and I read YaTBRzy and I did finish it. Then I got purple cover and I read this and I also finished this. Then I got graphic novel and I read the book Grass and I finished this one as well. Then the next prompt was red cover and I chose this and I also read this. So far so good. The last prompt that I got was character on cover and I chose the Eye of Ra and I also read this one. That means that I completed the whole TBR of April. And what that means is that I will get to take a card from my book buying jar. So the color I ended up with was this. So a blue. And that means that I will pick a blue card from this. And we're going to go with, quite a lot of blues down there. So then this, we get the prompt fantasy. Okay, so I'm gonna pick a fantasy book. So we're going to Goodreads. I actually really enjoyed this because what better way to do like a self-care kind of thing? What do you do when you're sick, feeling bad, and you know, basically bedridden? You buy books or look at books that you can buy. So my book wish list. So a fantasy book. So here I could potentially go with This Coven Won't Break, but it is a sequel, so I don't have to add it for a book buying prompt because I will be able to buy that automatically because it is a sequel. And we can see what I am intrigued about. I know one book that I have said that I really want to read is Gilgamesh. I don't think anyone is really surprised that I have more sci-fis. Yeah, more sci-fis than I have fantasy books. Because I don't read a lot of fantasy. I do read a lot of sci-fi. As you might have noticed from my quarter stats video where I had the vast majority of the books that I read were sci-fis. The first 3 months of the year were sci-fi. I read a lot of sci-fis the first 3 months of the year. I love sci-fi. So the book I decided on is The Blood Scion. First of all, this cover looks absolutely stunning. And I'm going to just read the description of it. So, equal parts soaring fantasy, heart-pounding action, and bloody social commentary. Blood Scion is a triumph of a book. This is what they deserve. They wanted me to be a monster. I will be the worst monster they ever created. 15-year-old Salone can incinerate an enemy at will. She is Scion, a descendant of the ancient Orisha gods. Under Delus's brutal rule, her identity means her death if her powers are discovered. But when she is forcibly conscripted into Delus's army on her 15th birthday, Sloane sees a new opportunity to overcome the bloody challenges of Luce's training and destroy them from within. I think that sounds exciting. And it is also kind of interesting that I chose this one considering I got this last time I had a book buying thing. Only a Monster, it's kind of following monster or someone who is perceived as a monster. So in this, it's kind of, I just thought about that when reading the synopses, that they see me as monsters. I'm gonna be the worst monster that I can be and that they have ever faced. And I'm gonna break them from within. You know, I enjoy those stories. What can I tell you? So now that we have all of that out of the way, we're going to start playing at TBRC. So the first roll for the first prompt. So roll 1 for May. Okay, what of this do I need? I need freeze and force up here, and then I need basically everything. Do I want to keep the 6s? I will keep the 6. I will keep the 5 in hope of a 2 pair. Yes, I got 2 pairs, and that is 22, and it is highest possible. So I get a red card, and the first prompt for me is 50. The first prompt that I got was number 50, and as I told you, I filmed playing the game at the end of April, and because I had the flu, I didn't want to film when I picked the books, so you will just have to trust me. Number 50 on my shelves was Seven Devils, which is a science fiction story. If you want to resist, you have to rebel. So we're following some characters who, there's this big empire, and it's not a good empire in a way, and we follow a group of people who are set out to defeat the empire, to kind of break it, and to, as it says, rebel. So we're following a rebellion, and one of the people that we're following is the princess of the empire in disguise. And the other main character that we have several main characters that we follow. This is also sapphic, which I quite enjoy, and it is a space opera, or maybe not a space opera, but it's an epic sci-fi set in space involving like all of these advanced technologies and battles, stuff like that. Kind of Star Wars in a sense. I mean, like very Star Wars, to be honest. And this I have started. I think it's the 6th of May today, so we have had almost a month. So I have started some of these books, as you will see. So this is the first book. So rolling for the second prompt. I am, of course, keeping the 4s. And then last roll. That is 12 on 4s. And a yellow card. And the second prompt for May is female. Ooh. Then I got FF, which means female, which means sapphic. So I picked I Think I Love You, which is a sapphic romance between 2 girls. Obviously, it's a sapphic romance. They follow 2 girls falling in love because it's sapphic. So this book is kind of centered around a competition, a film and TV competition, that you create a film and then you send it to this competition, and you have the chance to win a grand prize. You get to go to the LA Film Festival. They will show your film, and by winning, you will also get a scholarship so that you can go to the film school in LA. You also get an internship. What more do you get? I don't remember what more. You have like all of these things, like a long list of things that you get for it being an amateur film competition. So that's great. And we have our main character, Emma. She wants to work in the film industry, and so she sets out to make a film. And she wants to make a rom-com. She wants to make a gay rom-com because she is bisexual. She's not out to her parents. She's out to all of her friends and pretty much everyone but her parents in a way. She wants to make a gay rom-com because she wants to see more representation, especially more sapphic representation. So that's why she wants to create that film and have that as her, what is that called? I don't remember what that's called. But yeah, she wants that to be the film that she sends into the competition. And the other main character is Sophia. And she is very cynical when it comes to love. Her parents are divorced. Her mother lives in France with her new husband. Sophia lived for a while with her mom in France, and when she returned to New York City, she has this kind of French persona. She does a lot of things that is French. She wears a beret. She wears this kind of like stereotypical French scarf. She talks about, oh, in France it's like this, and in France it's like this. Oh, French people are like this. And like France is a huge part of who she is, her personality now. And because she doesn't really believe in love, she goes against Emma and says like, hey, we should do something artistic instead, and they decide to split into 2 different teams. So we have Emma, who does the gay rom-com, and then we have Sophia, who does a more artistic film, and they have like the same friend group, so they have to split the friend group for this. And it's basically them falling in love, like that's the whole plot of this. So this is what I'm reading for female.
Then the third prompt, I will start with attempting a small straight. So 4. Okay, I will keep the 3. And I got 2 3s. Okay, so then I will put 6. Wait. I can use my boost. So with this, I can roll 2 dice to add to the points for the roll. I will just count this and see if I can make it to over 63. If I do, then I don't need the boost. But if I don't, then I will need a boost. Okay, so I don't need the boost. I think the 6s here saved it. So I have... And then I will take a yellow card. Ooh, royalty. The next prompt I got was royalty. And for this one, I decided to go with the Jasmine Frone. So I'm going to read on, from Goodreads, the synopsis. So it says, so the Jasmine Frone is the first book in a trilogy set in a world inspired by the history and epics of India, in which a captive princess and a maidservant in possession of forbidden magic become unlikely allies in a dark journey to save their empire from the princess's traitor brother. Imprisoned by her dictator brother, Malini spends her days in isolation in the Hirana, an ancient temple that was once the source of the powerful, magical, deathless waters, but is now little more than a decaying ruin. Priya is a maidservant, one among several who make the treacherous journey to the top of the Hirana every night to clean Malini's chambers. She is happy to be an anonymous drudge, so long as it keeps anyone from guessing the dangerous secret she bears. But when Malini accidentally bears witness to Priya's true nature, their destinies become irrevocably tangled. One is a vengeful princess seeking to depose her brother from his throne. The other is a priestess seeking to find her family. Together, they will change the fate of an empire. To be honest, sounds really exciting. I'm on board, and I'm reading that for royalty. So, moving on to the 4th. Oh. Keeping the 6s and the 5. 3 of a kind. Maybe I'll take it. No. I will take this on chance then. This is 22 on chance. And a yellow card. Male.
So the next prompt that I got was male. And what I find kind of interesting is in April, I got 2 cover color prompts. And this time I got female, and male, which I did not expect to get both in the same month. But I'm not mad about that. And the book that I chose, I'm going to go into why. After going through all of the prompts. But the book that I chose is Aristoteles und Dante entdecken die Geheimnisse des Universums, which is the German translation of Aristotle and Dante discovered the secrets of the universe. I do think the German title is a lot easier to pronounce than the English, because this flows better in my to me. Entdecken die Geheimnisse des Universums. Discover the secrets of the universe. I don't know if the syllables or the consonants or something, but I prefer the German title, so I have a lot easier time to pronounce this. But this book, as you can see, I have started it. I have not finished it. I have, I think, 150 pages left. I think, yeah, exactly 150 pages left. So this is what I'm reading for male, and I'm going to go into why later.
And rolling for the last prompt. I have 2 5s. Attempting a 3 of a kind. And then last roll. Okay, I got 4 of a kind. 20. I will take that here instead. And the last prompt is a yellow card, and the last prompt is white cover. Ooh. And the last prompt I got was white cover. So for white cover, I decided to go with Go Tell the Sun. So this is a collection of short stories set in Botswana by an author from Botswana. So here are the 5 books that I will be reading for my YaTBRzy TBR. But for May, I'm not only reading for YaTBRzy, I'm also doing my Globetrotterathon, which is a reading challenge. You read 1 book each month for a different part of the world. And in May, we're traveling to Southern Africa. So Go Tell the Sun, which is set in Botswana, is the book that I'm reading for Globetrotter. So it's doubled that way. And then I also had a challenge for myself to finish all of my currently reading books, which is why I added this for a prompt. Since I have already started this book, I am still counting it from where I am until the end. I'm not planning to start this from the beginning again, because for my TBR I can pick a book 30 pages long. So a part of me felt like, oh, but I need to start from the beginning, and then I was like, no, I don't need to do that. Then another book that I started and that I am currently reading is The Atlantis Code. I love this book. This is at current moment a 5-star book. When I received this for my birthday, so in September, by Charlotte, so thank you so much. I love this book. Immediately when I received it, I just read it back and I was like, I need to start this immediately. I didn't. And then in October or November, I started it, and I brought it to school and I read it during the breaks, and I just wanted to read it so badly. And I have 200 pages left. This purple thing is where I am, so I have this left. So I am 65% into it. I have 200 pages left. We follow a linguist, which I love. So first of all, the reason why I love this so far. We have a professor of linguistics. I'm a language nerd. This involves the ancient world, specifically in the ancient times, which I love. Everything that has to do with the ancient times, yes, I love that. This is a mystery. They have all of these different pieces that they're trying to puzzle together, and I love that. And this is just such a good book that I just kept on reading it. And then I had to put it on pause, and other books came in the way, and I decided that I'm going to actually restart this book. So in May, my hope is to start from beginning to end during May. So this one I'm going to read the entirety of it in May, and not just like I did with Aristotle and Dante, that I go from where I am until the end, but doing the entire book. Because it is a mystery involving this kind of puzzle, I want to read it again because I have forgotten a lot of things that have happened. So this is another book that I'm currently reading that I hope to finish in May. Another book that I'm currently reading is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This is also a 5-star at the moment. As far as I've gone, it's 5 stars. I haven't gone that far into it, as you can see, and I have tabbed quite a lot because this is such a good quotable book. There are so many great quotes, which is the orange things. To be honest, the reason why I stopped reading, why I put it on pause, is because I ran out of these orange tabs, and I didn't want to switch to another color because I wanted it to be orange because of the orange leaves. So I wanted to keep the orange tabs. So then I got orange tabs, and my problem was that it had gone too long a time since I read it So I'm going to restart it and hopefully finish it in May. This is a short book, and it was so easy to read. It's a literary fiction. We follow, our main character is a Vietnamese American. His mom is a single mother, and she was an immigrant from Vietnam, and it's basically, this story is him talking to his mother in letters, I think. So a lot of it is you to his mother. And I love the writing of this. The writing style is really
I really enjoyed this. Like, it was a very beautifully written book, and I hope to finish it in May. And this is like the sad thing is that the next book that I have is another 5-star book as far as I've gone, and it's the Gauntlet. I love this. I started reading it, like when I received it, I started reading it immediately, and I read chapter after chapter, and then I felt like I need to sleep, so I slept, and then when I woke up, I was like, I want to finish this, I want to continue it, but then I had a lot of books on my YaTBRzy TBR that I had to read, because I didn't want to take punishments, and I decided like, okay, I'm gonna continue this when I have finished my TBR, and that didn't happen, obviously. So I'm going to start this from the beginning again and read it, and I think I'm going to love it, hopefully. This is kind of like a Jumanji thing. We have this family, and our main character is a girl who, what's her name? Farah. She receives, I think it's her birthday or her brother's birthday, someone's birthday, and their grandma gives them this old-looking board game, and they decide to play it. And it's kind of like a desert vibe Jumanji, and I'm here for it. I really enjoyed how far I got. When I stopped, they had just started playing the game. They just got like whoosh into the game, and I really enjoyed that, and then I, as I said, stopped reading. But this, another currently reading book that I hope to finish in May. And then the last book is kind of stupid in a way, because I finished my TBR for April, and then I felt like I want to read another book because I was home, I had a flu, and I prefer reading books over watching TV. So I just felt like, okay, I'm gonna read something. I had finished all of the books on my YaTBRzy TBR for April, so I'm gonna start a new book and finish it before May, and that didn't happen. So it counts as a currently reading book, and it's Sleeping Giants. And I can tell you that I finished this book and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, and yeah, I adore this book. I can't wait to pick up the next book. A part of me feels like when I get out of house arrest, which is kind of what it feels like. I haven't left my apartment to see people in over a week. I've been homesick the entire time. I think you might hear it on me, like when I talk, you might hear that I am sick, kind of. I'm not as bad as I was in the beginning. Like, I had a fever of over 39.5. I had like fever cramps, I don't know, like kind of like seizures, but not as severe, and just not a nice experience at all. But I started this and I have finished it, and I want to get the next book immediately because I loved it a lot. But this counts as currently reading because I was currently reading it before the month began, but I have finished it as of now. So these are the currently reading books, or the books that I was currently reading before May, that I hope to finish this month. So that leaves us with this stack, as well as Go Tell the Sun and the Jasmine Frone that I will be reading in May. And I can also tell you that when it comes to my book buying prompt thing, as well as punishment prompts, the current reading is not included in that. So if I don't finish any other book from my currently reading book, apart from, of course, Aristotle and Dante, I don't have to take a punishment. So that's nice. But yeah, these are all of the books that I will be reading in May. I am happy that I kind of decide to focus on currently reading books so that I get to just empty that shelf on Goodreads to take away all of the currently reading books. I don't want any books to be like currently reading. I want to start a book and having finished all of the other books. I do enjoy currently reading 2 books at least, like 1 audiobook and 1 physical book. I like doing that, but I don't want it to be this kind of way where I have multiple books that I'm currently reading and I never prioritize them because they're not part of my TBR. So this time, I make them part of my TBR. Wish me good luck. And that was it for this TBR video. That was a little bit late, but alas, here it is. If you're participating in the Globetrotter reading challenge, please let me know what you're reading for Southern Africa. I have heard that it was difficult, or more difficult, to pick a book for Southern Africa than it was Northern Africa, because most African books that are recommended are Nigerian. So feel free to let me know what you're reading and maybe get some more recommendations. I always welcome recommendations. And I hope you have a great month in May, regardless of if you're reading or not. And I will see you next time. Good reading. Bye.